while back, I threw out the question to viewers as to which of these 4 pots they thought would be suitable for repotting this little Chinese juniper into. And the results in, and keep watching to find out which of these pots was selected. Hello and welcome to the bonsai garden. This little Chinese juniper I have here was actually air laid from the top of this other Chinese juniper tree, which I initially bought from Elmbrook Bonsai. I felt that the tree was perhaps a little on the tall side, and I could see a smaller tree in the crown of that tree, and so I took an air layering last year. That has rooted, and it's been in this pot now since last year, and I was looking to repot it into a smaller pot, something appropriate. So I threw open the question to my viewers and people in the comments as to which of these 4 pots they thought would make the better pot for this particular tree. The results are in now, so I'm going to repot this tree into the pot that was selected. Now, I also had a number of comments that said that they thought this tree should be potted into a larger pot and left to develop. And I can understand that point of view, but my feeling is that I have a number of that are larger than this, and I'm quite happy to keep and maintain this tree as a small tree. And although I will develop and do some work on it, I'm not necessarily looking to develop the size of that. I'm quite happy to keep that as a small show-in tree, and so I am going to repot it into one of these pots. Now, the pot that was selected in the comments, it wasn't the pot that I thought would be selected. Now, if you just quickly run through these, first of all, I've got this Hinata ceramics pot with lovely studs and a little band effect around there. I thought that would be a really nice pot. I've got this slightly belly pot, which is a lot like the pot that I have my ram's horn juniper bonsai in, but much smaller, and I thought that might also be an appropriate pot. There is this one, which is just a round drum pot with just a couple of bands top and bottom, and then there is this rectangular pot which my Japanese white pine came in when I bought that from All Things Bonsai. Now, I had thought that that might have had more verts, and it didn't, which surprised me. And I had thought that perhaps that might have been a winner, just because it's such a lovely little pot with this studded effect. In fact, the majority of verts went for this one, and I guess it's on the grounds that it's less of a showy pot and much more of a simple design. So I'm going to repot this tree into this pot. Your first thoughts might be that this pot, is it even big enough to accommodate this tree? Well, this pot, or this tree, is over potted in this pot, and I potted it in the sphagnum moss that the roots were developing in. So I'm expecting when I take that out of the pot that it really doesn't occupy a great deal of space, and I'm fairly certain it will fit into this pot. Another point is that Chinese juniper don't mind having their roots constricted and in a smaller pot, so I think it will be quite happy in there. So the first job is clearly to get the tree out of the pot and have a look at it. So I'm just removing the tie down wires there. Get that out of the pot. And you can see there, as I suspected, the root mass is actually not huge at all. And so I think that will easily go into this pot. So I'm going to prepare my pot, get some soil ready, and then I'm going to plant that tree into that pot. The first job then in preparing our pot is securing some potting mesh into the bottom of the pot so that the soil doesn't fall out through the hole. And so I'm just going to make a little butterfly clip. I'm never very good at these and terrible at judging the sizes. So I've just created 2 little loops there, and I'm going to feed that through the hole in the bottom of the pot, through the potting mesh. And just bend those back, and that should just hold the potting mesh in place in the bottom of the pot. And I'll just trim off some of this excess inside. The next thing is that I want a couple of retaining wires in there just to hold the tree into the pot whilst it develops. And I've said this already with another pot that I did recently, that I do find the idea of 3 holes for potting wire to be a little bit peculiar. 2 holes for 1 wire, or 4 holes for 2 pieces of wire makes more sense to me. I'm not quite sure how you are supposed to use 3 holes. It seems quite literally an odd number to choose. But let's see how we go. And this retaining wire is just to hold the tree into the pot whilst it develops, and if the pot gets knocked over, the tree isn't going to fall out. So I put 1 wire in there, and you can see why it's a bit peculiar having 3 holes. So where would I put a second wire? Would I feed it from there to there? So I've got 2 wires coming out here. It doesn't really make a great deal of sense to me. But nevertheless, put a second wire in there. So, as I was saying, the idea of there being 3 holes, so I've now got a wire over this side, and I've got a wire over this side. It just looks a little bit peculiar. My next job is to put some of my bonsai soil in there. And the soil I'm using is primarily a mixture of molar clay, i.e. cat litter, and pumice. And so I'm just going to set my tree on top of that and just pump it down. And now what I want to do is I just want to bring these wires around the tree, pull them together and tighten those, and those are just going to hold the tree into the pot and stop it from falling out. So I'm pulling and twisting, which is tensioning the wire. So that's that one done. And we'll bring this one round as well. Taking care to position my tree where I want it in the pot. So again, just pull those together, pull and twist. And snip off the excess. And that's my tree held securely in the pot. In fact, I can lift the tree up and that is staying in there, that's not moving. My final job then is to fill the pot with soil and just tamp that down so there are no air pockets around it. Just going around filling the void around the tree and trying to ensure that the roots are all covered in there. Take my potting chopsticks and just rotating the tree and just agitating the soil and making sure that it fills in the void around the tree, and I think we're good there. So there's the tree in its new pot. So as always, when I repot a tree, I'm going to water this now to help it settle. So this is the tree transplanted into its new pot. Let me know what you think. Give your thoughts in the comments below and let me know what you might have done differently here. So I hope you found that interesting or entertaining. Let me know what your thoughts are on this particular pot. Would you have done things differently? And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and also consider subscribing for future videos. Thank you very much for watching and hope to see you in the next one.